With a storybook Hall of Fame level career, Kevin Harvick is coming to a close this past season. I thought it would be sacrilegious to not look back and give credit where credit was due, and acknowledge the fact that Kevin Harvick, for all intents and purposes, carried two NASCAR teams on his back and made them both look better than they really were during his time frame with each team. With Harvick's Cup career starting with some pressure taking over for the late great Dale Earnhardt, it would only take him 3 weeks to secure his first Cup win of his career, holding off Jeff Gordon at Atlanta Motor Speedway in one of the most memorable finishes in NASCAR history. He would go on to win again later on that season at Chicagoland and cap off a very underrated rookie season, finishing 9th in points. He would also go on to have an amazing championship season in the Busch Series, beating all-time great drivers like Jimmy Johnson, Greg Biffle, and Matt Kenseth. It would only take him a few years to finally break through and have an elite season, in which he did in 2006, setting career best at the time with top 5s, top 10s, wins, and average finish. Not only did he have his most successful Cup season to date, finishing 4th in points, he would go on to win his second Busch Series title, having one of the greatest Busch Series seasons in the history of NASCAR. That season he would put up astounding numbers, winning 9 races, 23 top 5s, 32 top 10s, with an average finish of 4.6. Just absolutely ridiculous. And not only that, but he didn't even have a finish outside of the top 20 all season, with his worst finish coming at Milwaukee, finishing 19th. What makes this even more impressive is looking at who he beat en route to this amazing season. Names like Matt Kenseth, Clint Bowyer, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, and Carl Edwards. He more than likely would have repeated this season in 2007, but he ran a limited schedule. In fact, in 2006 would mark the end of his full-time Busch Series career, as he focused more so on the Cup Series. He would go on to hit a rough patch in his career in 2007 to 2009, only winning 1 race and having single-digit top 5 seasons in a 108-race span. And be that as it may, the other 2 drivers at RCR at the time, Clint Bowyer and Jeff Burton, would only combine for 4 wins during that same time span, so it's not like Harvick was underperforming compared to his teammates. During the last 4 years of his RCR career, Kevin Harvick would go on to win 12 races and compete for the championships in 2010 and 2011 respectively. During this same 108 race time frame, his teammates Jeff Burton, Clint Bowyer, and Paul Menard would only go on to combine for a third of the amount of wins that Harvick accumulated during the same stretch, winning only 4 races between the 3 of them. It's clear as day when you look at the stats and watch the tape and film that Harvick carried this team on his back, helping them stay relevant in the years to come. And as the 2013 season came to a close, Harvick would take his talents to a team on the come-up, co-owned by another all-time great in Tony Stewart. Now, just like RCR, SHR has shown the ability in the past to have speed and results, with Stewart having shown the ability to win and be competitive for a short period of time, as Tony Stewart would go on to have his best season of his career in 2011, winning the championship and snatching the proverbial stranglehold that Jimmy Johnson had on the sport the past 5 years. In Harvick's first full season with SHR, he would do something that he hadn't been able to accomplish in the previous 13 years of his Cup career, and that's win a NASCAR championship. Not only did he accomplish that, but he had otherworldly speed all season long, recording 8 poles and setting a new career best in average starting position. He also did the bulk of SHR's damage, winning 5 out of the 6 races that year for SHR, and he led 2,100 plus laps of the 2,497 laps led by SHR that year. He would go on to have an even more elite season the following year in 2015, setting career highs in top 5s, top 10s, average start, and average finish and laps led. He would go on to finish runner-up for the title, but he solidified himself with SHR and the critics by proving he was well worth the risk, even though he was in the back end of his prime. Harvick would continue having elite seasons into his 40s, only slowing down in the last few years of his Cup career. In this 9-year stretch with SHR, he would win 37 out of the 48 races that SHR as a team would win, and he would go on to be the only true championship contender for the team during that time frame of racing. With all that being said, in closing, I don't believe Harvick gets the credit he deserves for carrying these 2 NASCAR organizations on his back for years. He would be the vocal point for both teams during his respective runs with each team, and outside of a few seasons of Kurt Busch, no other teammate of Harvick's with RCR or SHR was ever able to step up and perform on the same level as him, statistically or race pace wise. Regardless of the excuses people want to make about crew chiefs, equipment, sponsorships, and etc., the bottom line is Kevin Harvick was able to produce at an elite level with both organizations, and RCR hasn't been able to fill that void since Harvick left, trying to rely upon a spoon-fed rich kid like Austin Dillon, who's shown no true improvement throughout his entire Cup career. And letting a top-tier talent like Tyler Reddick go and walk out the door, I just feel was a complete and utter mistake and blunder by RCR. Now, they've covered their ass for a few seasons by signing one of the greatest talents in the history of NASCAR in Kyle Busch, who most would agree is going down a proverbial mountain in terms of his prime, but is still really good. It's only a temporary fix for them, but the good thing that's working well for them is the fact that they have one driver down in Xfinity who I believe will be a top-tier talent in the years to come, and that's Austin Hill. The good thing going for SHR in the coming years is they have a couple blue-chip drivers in two of their cars, Josh Berry and Ryan Preece, who get as much out of their cars as anybody can get, along with having two talented drivers like Chase Briscoe and possibly Noah Gragson coming into the fold in 2024. Both teams' futures look brighter than they did before, but that doesn't escape the fact, flat out, that there are still giant voids that have been left behind by the carrier known as Kevin Harvick. In closing, I believe Kevin Harvick should be appreciated more for what he accomplished with both of these teams, rather than being criticized for his brash, I don't give a damn like attitude. Hell, in my opinion, a personality like Harvick's is something that's pretty scarce these days, and is truly missed in the NASCAR spectrum around the world. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer who's shown the ability to perform at an elite level with multiple teams, something that only a handful of drivers in the sport can say. Simply put, he's the closer. Thank you all for watching, and as always, until we meet again.